Hello devs, so today we're gonna build the login screen and add a bottom navigation bar to navigate between our entries and our login screen. Just a disclaimer, I never done this in Jetpack Compose, so let's do and figure it out both. So let's start to do a password text field in Jetpack Compose. So to do that, we need in our app source main presentation UI components. Let's create a new Kotlin class file. Let's call it password text field and call it a file. Let's create a composable. Why? Why is doing this? Well, we need to restart the IDE. Let's wait a little bit. Now comp. Okay, now it's good. So password text field. Going to need modifier. We're going to also need a value. Mutable state of string. And going to have a go press it. So in here, what you are going to need? Var show password. Okay. We need to import all of these. Okay. Okay. Let's create the outline text field. Compose material tree. Let's add a label, and the label is going to be a text with a text of password. Let's convert this to extract string resources. No, I don't want context. I want get string resource and import this. I think compose okay. Value on value change modifier. Okay. value id. Why it doesn't? So let's add some information. There will be keyboard options, keyboard options. So capitalization none. So to when the user start typing doesn't start at the capital letter by default. We can put, but is not starting by default. Autocorrect enable equals to false. Keyboard type password and EME action action.go. So now we need to add single line equals to true, because it's a password, it's always single line. We need a visual transformation. So if show password, visual transformation none, and password visual. Okay, just import all of these. That's good. Now we need to add also a trailing icon. Yes, password to go. What is this? Okay, it's the Gemini. If show password, icon button, unclick, show password equals to false. And inside our icon button, we have an icon only. Why are you doing that? So icon with image vector, icons dot field, import. Why you are not importing? Field visibility and content description going to be no. Let's change this for more accessibility. So in here we're gonna call it so this is visibility, so show password is they not gonna see it, so but why not? And else the same image button. Let's copy paste. Just change in here to true. Change this to visibility off. And add in here hide password. Whoop. Extract string resource. Okay. So in here fill max width, and to finish this, keyboard actions, keyboard actions on go, on go press it, invoke. Let's add a preview to see what we are building. So password, text field preview, so time report, my time report team, and inside we're going to pass our password text field. So let's build and refresh and see if everything is okay. Okay, looks fine to me. Let's okay, if I click, everything works fine. And now let's build a new screen in our presentation, create a new package, going to call it login, and in here going to create new Kotlin class file, login screen, composable, login screen root, create another composable, login screen, and a preview, login screen preview. Okay, my time report, team, and login screen. For now, it's just only of this. So in our login screen, we're going to need a scaffold, inner padding, so let's start with the image. I think it's okay. So not image, we have to add a container. Let me think. Column. Why? Padding, inner padding, padding 16 dps, import, fill max size, import. Let's close this, open this, build and refresh. So in here, okay, going to add the image, image vector. So resource, drawable resource. Why? I forgot that. Let's see on item category. Painter resource. Okay. Going to be a painter and a painter resource. We don't, for now, we don't have any image as our logo of the app, but let's see what do we have in here. Only foreground. Let's go to Google and search for a logo icon. My time report. Let's see what appears. So image. Let's see logo. Search. Okay, let's use this just for now. And now we use tools, Android, and drag our image to here and generate. So this website going to generate all the image we need to be compatible to all of devices, and as you can see, returns the same image in all of the sizes. And now we need to open this in Finder and copy this to here. Okay. Why doesn't like it? Let me see what I'm... Okay, it's not in here. I do wrong. Cut. Yes, this is in the right place. Okay, the name is not correct. We don't. We can't have the capitals. So we need to change this. Okay. Let's copy paste this. And now, okay, it's not complaining anymore. So why I'm in project. Now if you see, it's only one image. And now to save more space, we can do right click, convert to a P, and do OK, accept all. As you can see, we save a little, just 18 kbytes, kbits. So in larger image, we save a lot of more. So in our login screen, now we can add our my time report and my time logo. Now mod content description, my time logo. Extract string resources and add now a modifier. Need a colon in here. Not need this padding. Yeah, well, let's leave it. Yes, it's a good idea. So why I'm not seeing the image? Okay. So let's add I'm thinking I need to center the image. I think if I made in the column, let's see. So horizontal, center horizontally. Okay, let's increase the size 100 dp, maybe 200. No, it's a very rough image, so 155, 150. And now we need to add outline, text field, need to import all of these. Username, so now we start need the values. So for that we need a state and we need to create it in the first place. So in our presentation login, let's create a new class file, going to be login state, going to be a data class, and private val. It's not private. Why I'm putting private? No, not private. So val password is loading, error. Yeah, yeah, it's good. So in here we need to pass our state. So state equals to login state, and in here state dot username. And now we need actions, and for that we need to create new Kotlin class file, login action, going to be a sealed class, so and in here we gonna have that class on username change it, on password change it, and on login click it. Going to add data in here. Okay, everything looks fine. So in here on action, login action, and in here call it on action and pass this. Username. So now we need single line to true. Let me think. Okay, let's add some keyboard with a colon in the first place. Keyboard options, capitalization. None. Need to import. Keyboard capitalization. Okay, correct. Okay, so autocorrect false. Keyboard type to keyboard type dot, let me see, text is the best. Yes, is the best option in here. I need to think, username or email. Let's leave it text, and if we need it, we change to email. Let's see. Why is deprecated? Dot next. Okay. Now, after our outline text field, going to add our password. Text field and pass value state password. On login quick, remove this. Okay. Let's change this. Let's pass value, going to be a string, and on value change, let's pass this. So this is going to be this way, and on value change, pass our ID iterator. So let's see. Okay, just change this to this. On value change, don't do anything. Okay, now in our login screen, we need to add our on value change. Alright, so okay, in here we need to change one more thing, padding button and fill max width. Import. Now looks good. Okay, let's start to make our view model and make everything in here working. So let's create a login package, a new Kotlin class file, login view model, going to be a class, extends view model, import, okay, state, yes, not this, and stateful equals to state as stateful. Why is not okay? Mutable stateful. Now we can import it. Okay. No, I don't want to do that. So now on action, fun. In action, let's add all of these on login quick. Let's leave it for later. So state update id.copy password action password. Do the same for here, state, update username, and now let's add this to here. So view model, login view model. No, it's not this. Coin view model. Going to our dependency injection, add our view model to here, login view model off, login view model. Okay. Now we need to add our need to add all of this to main activity and see what happens. Not a preview. Okay. Let's see how we can add. So compose bottom navigation. No. Navbar. Let's see. Okay, we need a sealed class. So let's put this in here. So in presentation, let's create a package, call it navigation. Let's create in here a new Kotlin class file, create a sealed, bottom nav item. This is going to be a sealed class. Idle is doing this. Okay. Okay. So val root. I'm copying from the medium. So val icon, image vector, and title. In here is label, but suggest title. It's good. So in here we need two objects. Let's create data object in that object. Call home. That's going to be just fine. Let's import all of this just to see. Yes, it's good. And add profile, not home in here. maybe user, no, person, okay. So now we need to create new Kotlin class file, going to be a button navigation bar. It's going to be a file composable pass button navigation bar, and in here we need to pass our nav controller. So val nav backstack entry by nav controller current backstack entry as a state. Val current destination. Let's import this. Why it's not importing? Why it's not importing? Type and automated get value. Let's remove this, import it again. Nope. Current route, destination dot route. Button nav item dot values. Okay, all of this. Okay, button navigation. What is this?
Os produtos com as melhores
Let's
opiniões a
see.
preços que vai adorar. Comece a procurar na Amazon hoje mesmo.
Quanto vale o seu carro? Em
I want to go to
compramos-o-seu-carro.pt
YouTube.
encontra rapidamente a resposta.
Hey guys, and welcome back to a new UX with Material 3 video. In this video, you will learn how you can implement a bottom nav.
Wouldn't it be cool if building a website felt like working in your favorite design tool? With Framer, it is. First is the freeform canvas. You can place anything you want.
A bottom navigation view. That is at least how it was called with Material 2. In Material 3, it's called a little bit differently, and that is navigation bar. But its purpose and how it works is exactly the same. So you can see we can add multiple destinations here. So this is really only used for navigation, to really navigate to different screens. This is not used to have some contextual actions for a screen like we used for the bottom app bar in the last video. And you can see we can also combine this with showing badges. So if you have a chat, for example, you can show how many unread messages there are. And if you just have a screen where there is some kind of update for the user, so here on the settings screen, maybe there is an app update available or so. So you just want to tell the user, hey, look at that screen, there's something for you. Then you can also show a badge without specifying a number like here. And you will learn all that in this video. So you can see where we click on these icons, then the corresponding icon gets highlighted. Of course, there is no navigation here in the simplified example, like here, up to 5 destinations. And I am in an empty Jetpack Compose Material 3 project again. And inside of this surface, we again want to create a scaffold, like in the last videos. And here we want to use the bottom bar again. So it's always creating a bottom app bar or a bottom navigation view. So you never use both. We can also...
So let's start in here. Now post. Modifier. Fill max size. Or full screen back. Add a scaffold. Let's pass this to maybe here.
To go on this scaffold, Alt Enter to opt in for this experimental API to get rid of this error. The other error can be ignored for now. And in here, in this bottom bar lambda, we want to create our navigation bar. This is the Material 3 version of a bottom navigation view. And if you're building an app for potentially large screens as well, then for these large screens, you might consider using this navigation rail instead, which is a navigation bar on the left side of the screen. But I will make a separate video about that. So now we want to focus on navigation bar. And yeah, in here we can put some configuration, but we really don't need that because we don't want to change the recommended guidelines for the bottom navigation bar. So we can just get rid of that. And in here, in this row scope, we just put these navigation actions. And I think it's called navigation bar item. So for each item we want to have such a composable here. And what I like to do is I would like to create a little helper class for each item, which just combines the data we need to display it. So we can say bottom navigation item or so. It needs a title. It needs a selected icon, which is an image vector. So the icon we want to display if we currently are on that screen. We have an unselected icon, image vector. We have a has a news boolean. If that is true, we just indicate we want to show this little red bubble, and we want to have a badge count integer, which is nullable. So if that's null, that means we don't want to show a badge count, which would be this chat bubble here. So if it's 12, then we would show this badge bubble with a number of 12. And if it's null, then we don't show such a number at all. Then we can scroll down right inside of our theme here and create our items list. So that's just a list for all of our navigation items. And we can say we have our, what did they call it? Bottom navigation item. The title for this one would be home for our first item. The selected icon is icons default. Actually, not default. The selected icon would be icons filled dot home. So that is a requirement, or it is at least very recommended by the Material 3 guidelines, that if an item or if the user is on a specific destination, like on home, for example, the icon for that should be filled. If the user is not there, it should be outlined. And that is exactly what's happening here. You can see if I'm on settings, then the settings icon is filled. If I go to home, then it's outlined again, and the home icon is filled instead. So we also want to provide this unselected icon, which is just the same icon, but we get it from outlined, like this. We then have has news for the home icon, for the home item that is false, so we don't want to display that. A batch bubble, and the batch count would be null. Yes, that we can leave that at the default. We can then take this, copy it, do the same for chat. I don't think I have the chat icon here in the normal icon set. You can add the extended icons dependency if you want, but I will just set this to email here. So we have a similar icon at least. Here we want to set has news to false because we instead want to use this batch count, and we can set this to whatever. Go to the settings page. So we have the index, we get the current item we're looping over, and for each of these items, we now want to display our navigation bar item. Well, we also want to have some state because we need to tell each item if it is selected or not. We also get an onClick lambda, which should be pretty clear, I guess. And we get an icon, which is just a lambda, where we can display the icon. And let's set selected to false for now to make all items unselected. How do we now achieve that we can dynamically select these items? Well, for that, we need some form of state. And that's pretty simple, though. We can just go ahead here and say we have a specific selected item index by remember savable. So remember savable just to make sure it also survives screen rotations and configuration and process that I'm meaning. But typically you would also store this in a view model, for example. So here we have a mutable state of, which is equal to 0 initially. So the very first item is selected by default. For some reason, it does not let me import remember savable. So we can just scroll up, go to our import section, duplicate this runtime mutable state of, and change this to set value, duplicate it again, and set it to get value. These are just the imports we need. We can collapse this again, scroll down, you can see the error is gone, and we can now take this state and pass it here. So a specific navigation bar item is selected if our selected item index is the same index as the index of that item. Should be clear, I guess. And if we click on a specific item, then we want to change our selected item index to exactly that index we're currently looping over. And if you would now also want to navigate, and then in here, you would just use your nav controller from your nav host and call that navigate, and you would navigate to item.title, for example, assuming the route of your screen is the same as the item's title. If that's not the case, you would need to add an additional property to each item, which would represent the route where the user should get when they click on the item. Since we don't have that nav controller here, I will just comment that out. What is now interesting is this icon. That is very simple if we just want to display an icon, like for our home icon here, so there's a little home symbol, but we also need to adjust this to support displaying such badges with the numbers and displaying such badges without any number. And we do this by using a so-called badged box. So the badged box is just a box which allows us to place a badge or not. But if we want to place a badge, then this badged box makes sure it's at the right place. So let's do that. You can see we get a icon is selected or not, because if it's selected, we want to use this selected icon, and if not, we want to use this unselected icon. So we can check if the index is equal to selected item index. If our item is selected, then we want to use item.selected icon, and else we do item unselected icon, like this. For our batch now, how do we display that? We first of all want to check if we even want to display a specific batch for that item. So if the item.batch count is not null, that means we passed a specific number we want to display. That means we want to display if, then we should hopefully see something very similar as I showed you before. Yes, we do. So we do see our batch with items list. So first of all, we would need to make this items list a state, and then we would need to update it and, for example, show label, which is true by default. So this means for all items, the label is shown.
So and the label to be a text item.title. So let's see. Okay, let's remove this. Run again. So now we have all of this, but we need to call the right screens when we click. So I'm gonna leave that for the next video. Thank you for watching. If you like, subscribe the channel on YouTube and Twitch, and see you on the next video. Bye.